Are you ready?
We're not swag, swag, be around. People know what you're talking, showing them you got it.
2024 novemberében újra Sneakerness Budapest.
Valaha először Európában egy sneaker eseményen itt ül velem két olyan legendája ennek a kultúrának, akik ezt a világot formálták, megalkották mondhatni, és olyan cipőket, olyan kollaborációkat, olyan alkotásokat adtak nekünk, amiket nap mint nap hordunk, amiket rajongunk, és amik megmozgatnak minket, és az, hogy ezt nél tudtam hozni, ez engem egészen egyszerűen meghat, hogy most itt lehetek ezen a színpadon. Köszönöm, hogy itt vagytok velünk, és kérlek, köszöntsétek velem sok-sok szeretettel. Először is Mr. Hiroshi Fujiwara.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for coming.
És nem is beszélve persze magáról a galamb, ember, zseni, legendáról, aki már ma annyi cipőt írta le, hogy szerintem sose volt még ennyi dedikált PIGEON-nánk Európában. Jeff Staple!
Hello, hello. What's up? Thank you.
So now we will switch over to English. First of all, Hiroshi, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Hiroshi, I think I can tell a little bit of a secret to the audience that you have been to Budapest once before on a private base and
Yes.
you really like the city.
Yeah, I do.
It's really interesting. You take some road trips sometimes through Europe and
Yes.
see different...
I think I've been here maybe 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Always driving across Europe. So this is kind of destination to come here.
It's fantastic. Jeff, is it your first time?
First time ever.
How do you like it so far?
I'm in love. I love it
Oh,
here.
yeah?
It's amazing, yeah.
That's good for us to hear. Thank you so
Love it.
much. Thank you so much. I mean, first of all, I would really want to start this talk with a question that I tackled with Jeff already in our interview this morning, but I'm really curious about it also, what you think about it, Hiroshi. We have so many young entrepreneurs here, young designers, young brands who want to create something great, but one of the main points that I think you're the master of is creating your own signature. And what do you think, what advice could you give the young audience, the young people, how to find their own signature? What makes their art, their work special, unique, one of a kind?
It's a difficult question, but I never really think I'm making my original signature things. I was always looking for something I like. So I was always inspired by many things. So I didn't really trying to make something my originality. Yeah, I'm always looking for something new, something interesting. I think that's, if you are young kids, you should do, you know, see many things and travel a lot. Yeah.
Jeff, how about you? Would you have anything to add on to this point? And what?
Yeah, I think one of the other secrets is to add time. You know, like if you create your own brand or create your own signature, it's one thing to just do it one day, but I think if you add time, many months, many years, maybe even decades, anything can become a brand, even if it seems completely ridiculous, whether it's like 2 lightning bolts or a pigeon or a polo horse. After many, many years, it kind of becomes a brand. So probably the secret key is patience.
Right. I see. Hiroshi, I think it is no secret, you talked about it before. When you create something, your first thought is to create something that you personally like, that you find interest in. Over the last decades, also, your interests, of course, changed a lot, and also your style and what you're creating. What do you think about the future? If you think, you once said to Jeff before, you think you will never wear, let's say, classic, old people, old school shoes in your life, but always sneakers. If you think some years into the future, if you're looking at what you prefer when you're creating, what will it be? What do you think? Will your style, your preferences still change? Because you said you're always looking for something new, something exciting.
Well, it doesn't have to be something, I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be really something new. It could be old, but hopefully I can see some new technology or things convert to, or mix with kind of old stuff. But yeah, there's many things in the past also, everyone thinks so because of everyone's wearing like 40 years old shoes like these, so still, I don't think anyone can beat like Air Jordan 1, 40 years old, but there's some possibility for the future also.
Yeah, and I mean, just to stick on to this question, you talked about it once before, Hiroshi, that many years ago, when you started to first take the Dunks or the Air Forces from the archives, brands were mainly pushing to make something new. It was not like today that everyone was wearing Dunks or Air Force Ones. What made you connect more to the archives, to the, let's say, older, more classic stories? What gave you this instinct?
Okay, that was the shoes I was looking for anyway. There's no way we can buy Dunk or Jordan 1, that kind of things. So, when I had a chance to talk to Nike, so I asked them, why can't you make it?
You just made it. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Jeff, how are you doing between innovation and classics? What do you think is the right balance? Because obviously we can find some amazing stories and amazing emotional connections in the archives, but sometimes we have to create a new archive from today. Otherwise we're going to be looking also in 100 years to the same archives as we do today. How can we find this balance of creating something new, something innovative, but something that still triggers those classic emotions in us?
Yeah. Actually, I remember going back to this. You told the story just now. When I first interviewed you for the Fader, I remember you just reminded me. I asked you, will you be wearing sneakers for the rest of your life? And you said you'll never wear like wood bottom older shoes. But you kind of do now.
Not really. I don't really wear the sole shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But more adult shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So everything can evolve and change. But I think having that balance is like, as you guys, as consumers, it's okay if you like Air Jordans and you like Dunks, but it's also okay to try to expand beyond that and try something else. Just because you consider yourself like a Jordan head or a Yeezy head, doesn't mean 100% of your wardrobe has to be that. Try maybe 98% is Jordan and Dunks, but 2% is something different and something new. I think that adds to like kind of your curiosity,
Jeff, we were just talking backstage about you being somewhat of a tastemaker, connoisseur for sneakers, and I have a question for the audience, and if someone will answer this right, I think we're gonna give them a staple Pigeon Sneakerness Budapest collab hoodie or t-shirt. What brand do you think is the shoe that Jeff is wearing right now?
Yeah, I bet nobody in this whole room knows which sneaker I'm wearing. And I like that. I actually don't want to walk into a room and everybody knows like, oh, Travis got one. Oh, Jordan won. Like, I want to walk into a room and be like, that's weird. What is that? So I always want to try to do that. But I bet, let's see if anybody knows.
Yeah, so I have a question coming up to this, but does anyone know actually what shoe that is? Do you have any idea? Any guesses here from the side? Mi lehet? Milyen cipő lehet Jeffen? Tippeljen valaki egyet innen oldalról. Tommy? No idea. He has no idea.
I don't even know.
Yeah, okay, this is actually an interesting call. He said arigato. Axel arigato.
Good guess.
That's a good guess. That's not a bad guess at all. Okay, we have a guess right there. Balenciaga.
I can't afford Balenciaga. It's too much money for me.
Do you want to reveal it, Jeff?
I don't want to reveal it.
Okay, we're not going to reveal it.
Yeah.
That's a twist here. That's a plot twist. But it's something that I think none of us actually. Okay, one more guess. Buffalo. That's a really good one. Close.
No, but good guess.
But no,
good guess, yeah.
I think that was maybe the closest so far. Okay, I don't think we're going to reveal this. We're going to keep this a secret.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you were just saying if you walk into a room, you want to have something that is completely unique. But also, I think there was something really interesting when you guys had a panel discussion before together. Hiroshi, you mentioned that you were talking about Nike ID. And you were mentioning exactly this, like, okay, we all want to have something that's unique on our feet when we walk into a room, but at the same time, if it's something that only we have, that there is no group dynamic to it at all, then it's not attractive to us, and that's the main issue of Nike ID. So what do you think about that, and how do you feel about your personal preferences of shoes, Hiroshi? If you see lots of Dunks or lots of Jordans in the room, does that bother you? Do you want to show them something else, or are you happy with it in this community feeling?
It doesn't bother me at all. You know, I like to see people what kind of shoes they're wearing. So, yeah, I don't mind at all. I'm happy to see many shoes. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really.
Are yours Nike ID or?
This is like Nike by you. It's called Nike by
Wow.
you now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just anyone can do. You know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm playing Nike by you all the time, making like new shoes every week, kind of.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What kind of an enjoyment is creating or designing a shoe for you? Is it a different kind of art process than, let's say, if you make music? Does it give you a different kind of feeling, or is it all the same? If you, for example, design a shoe.
You can say it's same and different also. But when I do design like shoes, it's already exist, so I can add or I can twist or something, which I really like. I like customization. I'm not good at making from scratch. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm happy to do this kind of things. The way I make music is also like sampling and adding something, so like customizations.
Right. Also, Jeff, how about you? I mean, you also do so many different things. I couldn't even imagine it. And maybe if we can look at it also in a more of an entrepreneurial perspective, if you drop a shoe, if you create a collab, do you have the same thought process behind it than, let's say, when you're creating your own stapleverse, like an own metaverse? Do you go by the same principles if you make a sneaker collab than if you, let's say, making something completely different in a completely different area?
Yeah, I do. I treat it the same way, same process, and kind of same thinking as well. And I'm similar in what Hiroshi said. I'm more like, I think you called me an editor once. I'm more like not really creating something completely new from scratch. I'm sampling from many different things and then mixing it and creating it together. That's a lot of fun to me.
I see.
Yeah.
Taking the existing pieces and putting it together
Yeah.
differently.
But the process is the same, whether it's a bicycle or a shoe or a clothing line or whatever. Like, I think of the process of designing it, building it, and releasing it kind of in the same way. I think the different medium, like whatever the surface is, makes it feel like a different project. But the way I do it is the same, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's such an important point what you just mentioned. We talk a lot about innovation, but in the end we often forget that actually innovation is not always just creating something completely new, but also taking existing pieces and putting them together in a different way.
Yeah, I really respect the original. You know, I don't think I can beat white Air Force One, white Nike Jordan 1 first original forever. But I don't think I can make it better, but I think I can make interesting. You know, that's what I do, I think.
That's fantastic. That's incredible. What I would be really curious about, Hiroshi, you work a lot, for example, with Moncler in Milan, and obviously culture on different continents can be different, but how different is, for example, the working process if you work or if you have a meeting with someone in Milan than if you're doing that in Tokyo or in Japan? Is it all the same? Do you create the same atmosphere, or are Europeans more like strict lined and wanting to have the business plan?
I think it's different though, to actually go to see them and have a conversation with the office, or like,
Right.
I can't really explain, but atmosphere is really important. I still think so. So maybe the Zoom or like those kind of, you know, meeting is not enough for me. I kind of want to see each other to do it.
How much, I'm asking this both of you, how much often of a role does the human factor play when you do collaboration with a brand? Hiroshi, what do you think? Just the human connection. I mean, you mentioned now that you don't like Zoomy things, and also you talked to Jeff before in a podcast where you said that you never do these big boardroom meetings with PowerPoint presentations. What I think is fascinating and amazing, but you build onto the human connection.
It really depends about the product, but I'm trying to meet person to person for the beginning, and then start working. Yeah. So after after I had a good conversation, maybe we can do each other. But first of all, I think I like to meet.
Jeff, how about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I probably learned it by observing from Hiroshi, right? That even when you're really excited to work with a brand and there's good people there, if those people leave, sometimes you don't want to work with the brand anymore because like different people come in and you're not like vibing with them.
Not the same energy.
Yeah, yeah.
You just said an interesting thing. You learned it or you saw it from Hiroshi. I think it's really interesting that you often refer to Hiroshi as somewhat of a mentor, if I may use your words. But I mean, obviously, you are a mentor to so many young people and an idol to so many young people here as well. And one thing that I found really fascinating that you wrote about in your Rizzoli book is that this whole thing of a mentorship is something of a life hack even for you. Because even you, if you're mentoring someone, you're still learning. How much do you like to, let's say, have conversations with the new generation, and what is something that someone else can show you that obviously, let's say, doesn't have the same experience as you? Because I think it's really hard to find anyone with more experience than you in this field.
No, but it's not about how much experience you have. Even if I talk to any one of you right now, I'm 100% sure that you can teach me something that you've seen. No matter where you come from or what you do, I can learn something from you, So even though you want me to be your mentor and I can show you a lot, you can also show me a lot. And I think the best relationships are when we're like learning from each other and teaching each other a little bit, Not if it's always me teaching you and you don't teach me anything, then eventually I'm gonna get frustrated, so it should be a two-way street. But the good thing is that every single one of you can teach somebody something, for sure, I know that.
What do you think is, and this is going to be somewhat of a broad question, but also very specific, maybe even difficult, because it's multiple factors, but what do you think is the key to a good collaboration? Because you both are masters of collaborating. Is it the human side? Is it what cultures the brands come from? Do the brand messages actually have to match, or is it even better if you're completely the opposite? What are your thoughts about that?
I think good collaboration would be that kind of even, like 50-50. So, really lean to the other person or other companies. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes artists and brands, when they collaborate, it's like all about the artist. Like the artist gets 100% of the wind and the brand is just like on the side. It feels like 90-10, And that's great for the artist, but I think then other brands will be like, oh, it's not so fun to work with them because they always take advantage of the whole situation,
But you know what I'm experiencing so much? So many brands, when they do collaboration, they expect the artist or the person they collaborate with to bring their own life so much into it, like to change everything about the brand because it's become such a big thing. And I think Hiroshi also talked about it before that you like to highlight the core and classic elements of an item or a brand that you collaborate with. So how do you think can you actually tell brands, Jeff, if you do collaboration, that it's not necessarily good to put it 90% onto the artist and just 10% of the brand, but to actually equal it out for the benefit of both of the sides?
Yeah. Sometimes the brand is too much. They want too much, they demand too much. And sometimes the brand is too lazy and does nothing. So I think what Hiroshi said, it has to be like 50-50 even,
Oh yeah, totally. Hiroshi, do you think?
Sometimes artists can be selfish too. Some artists really pushing what they wanted to do, but I think they should respect the company or the brand also. So it has to be like even, 50-50.
Hiroshi, when you're creating something, in the process of the creation, do you source your inspiration from, let's say, your heritage, what you have done in the past, where you come from, or more into what you're looking to do in the future?
I think for me, actually, I'm kind of looking for the archives because I don't really see the future, what's going on. So.
But not only my archive, everything's history or whatever.
Of course. Jeff, how is it for you? Because obviously I think what you're doing so fascinatingly is that you're being able to take jumps and broad jumps from one side to the other in some way. On one hand, you created the classic dunk, the pigeon dunk, like the legend itself, but then you're also doing your own metaverse, which is like completely new thing. And we just talked about this, I think, maybe the day before yesterday, maybe even this morning, how funny it is that you actually wrote a book at the same time as you created your own metaverse.
Yeah. I think I look at the present and I try to see what's maybe a little bit missing. And then I try to like fill that hole, you know, like in America we call it like the white space, which is like if there's a big room, where is like some little missing thing, and then I try to like fill that space with something new.
I see. So this is a question to both of you, and maybe there is not even an answer to that with how much you have done, but is there any project, any collaboration that you would really love to do but you have never done before?
I cannot think about it now because I've been doing many collaborations. I don't even remember.
I think you were doing collaborations, but we're not even calling it collaborations.
I don't have any plan.
You have done everything. How about you, Jeff?
I wanna go into like living spaces, like whether it's like apartment or a hotel or a resort or like condominium. Like we always design things that you wear and that you buy and you put on a shelf, but I want to make the room. But I guess I kind of do that with retail stores, because a retail store is like a temporary room for you to be in, but I want to explore like your permanent home. But I'm not an interior designer or architect, so it's just, again, like the mixing and the tweaking to make a cool home, you know?
This is such an interesting concept for me, and I would be really curious, Hiroshi, when you work in a retail store and you design a retail space, what makes it great? Is it, let's say, the pieces of furniture or the architecture, or the way you're putting it together? Can you create, let's say, something? I mean, it's the same also with sneakers. Like, can you create a really special pair without having like a hype story behind it, or is it more the combination of the things?
Yeah, I'm more like trying to surprise people. So if I do like retail things, I wanna kind of surprise. No, doesn't have to be comfortable or easy to shop, but surprise.
That's so interesting to hear. How. This is just fascinating to me. I mean, to reach this level when you are able to create art in a way that the customer is happy that you're making it hard for him to shop there, and that's the whole experience about it. Do you think that is something that you are able to do? Let's say because of the incredible following that you already have, and how many people are looking up to you as an idol? Or do you think that is also something that a young artist can do? Like, let's say if a young artist creates a retail space that is actually hard to shop at, will they be successful with it? Or do you have to reach a certain position or a certain level that you can do that?
You have to be lucky. You have to be lucky to find someone or find some places. Again, I'm not good at making from scratch. You know, if someone said, "Oh, you can do anything you want from here now," well, I cannot do it. But if someone showed me like old swimming pool or old church or old school, that I can maybe create or twist some ideas. That's easier for me.
Jeff, talking about retail spaces, we were just talking about you also opening a first staple flagship store.
Yeah.
What can we expect there? And obviously you have an incredible experience of creating a retail experience and really a journey in retailing. How much of a new concept can we expect there, or will it be something easy to shop in?
Yeah, I mean, so early next year, like in March or April, we're going to open the first staple flagship store in New York City. We had a store before, but it was called Reed Space. It was a multi-brand store, but this is going to be our first staple store. And I haven't finalized all the design plans yet, but I want it to be educational. I want people to learn about, you know, the culture 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and today. And I think designing a store is kind of like designing a sneaker. Like sometimes I think about sneakers as like a room, but for your foot. But it's weird in my head, like when I take a sneaker and I blow it up like 10,000 times, it's like you're walking into a room. Like there's so many little compartments and details and stuff, and then your foot goes inside and it has to live inside. I kind of think of a store as like a big sneaker. So it needs to look good from the outside. When you walk in and step in, it needs to feel good. So, but it's like you're in a room, just like a shoe is.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Speaking of multi-brand store, or own flagship store, when you create a multi-brand store or a retail space, you have to do something that fits all the brands and that everyone is okay with it in the store. How much of a new and more enjoyable experience is it maybe even to have your own flagship store where you can do whatever the hell you want?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's probably why it's taking me a long time to design this space, because naturally I want to make a multi-brand store. I want to share all different stories and ideas. It's actually a little bit challenging for me to tell one story of Staple. Even though it's my own brand, I still want to sprinkle different things around it. So I'm trying to find that balance between telling one story and telling many stories.
And now it's time for your questions. If anyone has a question from the audience, I think this is your big chance. Anyone here on the right, on the left? We have a question right there.
What did he say?
Sorry?
Yeah, you can guess. No. Oh, wait. What?
Hold on. Can you repeat that?
RAL 7000 Studio with Echo shoe.
Oh, yeah, he got it.
We got it.
Wow, nice.
That's it.
You should give your shoes to him.
We got a winner. So we're actually, that's the Staple Sneakerness Budapest collab is yours. We're going to talk about that later. Amazing. Yeah, wow. I hope you didn't use AI or ChatGPT or something for that. Just scanned it. Take a picture and scan it in the meantime. Wow. That's amazing. Okay, now we got a question from the left. Now we go over to the right side. Come down to you. I gotta be careful with the tech here.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Come in the middle a bit. There we go. This is a lot better.
So hi guys, which is the one of the most and not most worst and best sneaker of all time?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow.
Yes, what's the worst and best sneaker of all time? Wow. That's such a tough question. Let's start with worst.
I don't know. What is the worst?
So many worst.
Right now, I've been working for Nike for many years, so I can't really not wear other shoes.
So you can say Adidas is the worst shoe of all time.
Yeah. I actually don't like the, oh, I should not say that.
Almost. We almost had it.
We were this close.
I want to ask, will you wear Crocs?
No, I don't.
Never.
Never. Well, I don't like it then.
Okay.
I don't like plastic shoes.
You don't like plastic shoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. How about you, Jeff? I think you're going to hit us with your worst shoe of all time.
Maybe Panda Dunks.
Wow.
No, because
Candy dunk.
Panda, the black and white one.
Right. Like this?
No, the other one.
Whoa.
This is unpanda.
The reverse panda.
No, because I made the original. There's
You
only
made-
one Panda Dunk.
This is a personal story.
Yes,
I think we should highlight it. So you did the OG Panda Dunk,
yeah,
right?
in 2017.
Exactly.
Now every kid in the world has a Panda Dunk, but it feels like a bootleg.
They don't even know that their panda is actually a pigeon.
But how about best? Favorite of all time?
It's difficult too. But yeah, like Dunk or the Jordan 1, maybe.
Okay.
For me, it's Jordan 3. That's the shoe that made me a sneakerhead. The Air Jordan 3, black cement. Even though I don't wear it anymore, but I still have one on my shelf because it reminds me of the time I became a sneakerhead.
Wow.
But I also like technology shoes too, like Hyperdunk or whatever with a new technology. I'm really impressed what they do. Yeah.
So actually, I just have one more question personally. You mentioned before that when you make a retail space, you don't necessarily want to make it easy to shop, for example. How about a shoe? Is it actually important for you if it's comfortable, or is it even better if it's unpractical in some way?
Well, sneakers should be comfortable. That's what I think. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any uncomfortable sneakers?
I think it has to be comfortable and also wearable. Like, I think you also, when you design shoes, you don't really make it crazy artwork. You make it very simple to wear. And I try to do the same, like, you know, and I like art shoes. Like, for instance, the difference between the Pigeon Dunk and the Paris Dunk. Like, Paris Dunk is like a beautiful piece of art, but that's not really my style. I want to make it very simple to wear.
Yeah, I'm making almost everything which I want to wear. So even the clothes, even the shoes, that's everything I should say I like to wear it.
That's amazing. So if you have, okay, we have 2, 3, 4 more questions. Okay, here you go.
Really interested in his. Oh, I see.
Okay, thank you. This is a great question. So I'm going to translate it from Hungarian. It's for you, Jeff. When you designed the pigeon dunk, did you expect it to blow up like that? Did you expect it to be received in such a wild and positive way?
No, not at all. I think when any designer creates something, you can try to do everything you can to make it as good as possible. But on the day that you release it, you actually at that point have no control over how it does. It could be sell out in 1 minute, or it could be nobody buys it and everybody hates it. You know, so with the Pigeon Dunk, I had no idea. And every year that people keep talking about the Pigeon Dunk is pretty wild to me. But it's the one thing that like I can't control and I can't buy that. You know, so it's like I put it out into the world, and now the world decides what to do with it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, I think Raphael, was that really? Yeah, there we go. We got it. Raphael was pretty quick before.
Hi Jeff, hi Hiroshi. Like I asked Jeff earlier, like about the sneaker riot that his sneakers caused in New York back in the day, and he said like it was like kind of a bittersweet moment, right? Like he was proud of it, but he also like feeling embarrassed because he caused it a riot. But I want to know if in your career you have this type of moment, like you are very proud, but also feel like kind of bad, like a bittersweet moment with your product or in your career.
Thank you. I think that's a really deep question. The question is, he mentioned that you were telling, when we were walking through the venue before, that you said that the riot for the pigeon was like a bittersweet moment for you. You were proud of it, that it created something this big, but it was also obviously bittersweet because it was a riot. And he was asking if you also had any moments in your career, any other moments that you were also really proud of, but at the same time not quite perfect. So there was some feeling in it that didn't make it as good as possible, that it had this bittersweet taste.
What's your proudest release, but also maybe not perfect?
I don't really care about release. I do a design or like concept, and then to sell is other part of the companies, like not me. Like Nike decide what they're gonna do. I don't even know how many shoes they're making. So
It's incredible.
Do you not want to know because the artist in you just wants to be creating? You don't want to care about sales and promotion and stuff? Is that why?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
scary to know.
It's it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
scary,
scary
to
to
know.
know.
Okay, I think you've already I think you were who was he earlier? Was he? I don't know who was. I think it was you, Al. Sorry.
It's actually a question for both of you. What do you guys think about AI stuff that comes out in designs? And actually, what do you think about like Zellerfeld in Germany about this 3D stuff that is going on?
Are you playing with AI?
Not so much. I don't really play with AI so much.
I'm currently using AI as like my assistant, not to create artwork, but to do manual labor type stuff. You know, like figure out my schedule or like what's the best flight to take. It's really good at that. It's really fast. And I just actually visited Zellerfeld last week in Hamburg. I think what they're doing is amazing. I think they're one of the future brands to look out for. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
so that everyone hears, he asked if Jeff is maybe thinking about a collaboration in the future with Zellerfeld. Just so we all hear it.
I don't know.
We will see. We will see. Thank you. Okay, I think we have time for one or two more questions. I think. Oh, I'll get it to you.
So, hi. What are the best things in collaborating with Nike, and how does it look like to collab with a brand like this?
What is the best thing about collaborating with Nike? What it feels like to collaborate with a brand like Nike?
The thing is, I can use their resource. You know, I cannot make anything from myself. So that's really, I really appreciate what I can do with them.
And there's also a huge archive.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the best things when Nike decides to work with you is, and I work with many different brands, so like I can compare the difference, and I feel like maybe you can agree or disagree, but if you have an idea, 90% of the time Nike says, okay, let's try it. Whereas I find when I work with maybe other brands, it's like 50% they say yes, 50% they say, oh, let's adjust this, and it's like constantly debating. But Nike, you know, I think for the most part, they trust the people that they work with, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Do you agree? You work with them more now.
Yeah, but I only work for Nike, so I don't know.
Yeah, but they usually say yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Nike takes the time to decide who to work with, and then just let it go. But I think maybe other brands that are more challenging are more scared. So they're like, oh, are you sure? Our sales team said this, our marketing team said this, our IT team said that. It's like, you asked me to do it, so just listen to me, you know? Yeah.
But it is really take time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm still doing some project which is coming like 2026.
Oh wow.
So maybe 2-3 years ahead.
So it's a 2 or 3 year project
Yeah.
completion phase.
It's hard to know the future. What's going to be cool in 2026?
So actually,
What's going
Hiroshi,
on?
you said before when I asked you, when you create something, do you inspire from your past or your future? In the end, you're actually creating the future at that time then.
Well, bring the past to the future. Yeah.
True. Very true.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Down here?
I have a question about Kanye West and his work. Like, do you think the Yeezy brand is dying, or can Kanye keep the brand going?
It's interesting. The question is if you think that the brand Yeezy and Kanye is on the way down, or if they can still save the brand.
If they make it again, I think it's gonna be good, right?
Ooh,
Gonna
Nike or Adidas?
No, I don't know.
He was
any Kanye,
Oh,
right?
Yeezy by himself?
like the
Yeah.
Yeezy brand and Kanye West.
I always see really interesting, actually. Yeah, he sent me some stuff he made for Gap, which I never thought I would make, but it really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, like you said, you like to use Nike's resources? And Kanye does too. He uses Adidas resource, Gap resource. Do you think he could do it by himself without company resource?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I kind of think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's really independent too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Yeezy. I don't know. I think Adidas and Yeezy are done though. I think that's done, officially done. I think. I don't think that's gonna come back.
I think we have time for one last question, so it's better make that a good one. Okay, Sean, you're both so motivated. Okay, I hope it's two short ones then.
Hello guys, welcome to Hungary. I just wanted to ask you, what was the most enjoyable, what was the sweetest part of doing through your career when you look back, and what was the hardest one, and how did you manage to overcome the situation?
Did you hear the full question? No. So what was, on one hand, the sweetest part or sweetest moment in your career or achievement, and what was the hardest moment in your career, and how did you manage to overcome that?
I didn't really get hardest, but always when I was making sample, like product samples, that was our most fascinated time for me. Waiting for the new samples and actually sample comes and see the things is really great moments.
I still get really excited when I see somebody wearing my design that I don't know. I think that's never gets old for me. Do you still get excited when you see somebody wearing your design that you don't know?
I don't really feel that way, no.
Really?
No.
Oh. I still get excited. And I was telling Tommy one of the stories that when I was a kid, I used to draw swooshes a lot, like my own swoosh and try to draw it. And then when I learned Adobe Illustrator, I tried to create the swoosh. And then I remember when I first started working with Nike, they emailed me the swoosh.ai file, the official swoosh. And I felt like when I got that email, my career was finished. I finally got the actual swoosh file, So that was I still remember that as one of the greatest moments of my career. Just getting that stupid AI file.
Okay, and then the last one was over there. It's a short one.
Hi, it goes to Hiroshi. My question is about, how was the collaboration between Travis and Fragment? Was it easygoing or was it a bit tough?
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really easy. I met him in New York and in a hotel room. We discussed what we're gonna do, and then they send me AI file, I send him AI file, and then maybe 6 sample came, and we pick one each other. Yeah, I think it was really easy. Yeah.
Did you know I was with you at the Mercer Hotel the first time you met Travis?
I didn't recognize him.
No, I didn't recognize him either. So I was having tea with Hiroshi at the hotel, and this guy comes up, and he's just bowing he's bowing like crazy. He's like, "Oh, I'm so honored to meet you." I was like, he's like, "My name is Travis." I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then he didn't know him either. And that's the first time they ever met. This is years before they did the collaboration. Yeah, he was a really nice, humble guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was he still like that when you worked with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Thanks a lot.
Hiroshi, thank you for creating this historical
so much.
moment
Thank you
with
so
us
much.
together. Thank you.